That's funny, man. Are we rolling?
We're rolling, yeah. We're live, guys.
Man, let's get it. What's up, y'all? We're here at JCutz Barbershop. Here getting cut up by Josh. I'm about to get a low fade. How long you been cutting hair for, Josh?
Bro, total, I just hit 10 years. I started cutting hair when I was about 12, 13. I just turned 23. It's been a minute, bro.
10 years. What got you? I mean, that's a young age to start cutting hair. What made you want to start cutting hair at 13?
Bro, we didn't have a lot of money, so like my cuts were when school started, in the middle of the year, and then when school started. So I had to like rock the Justin Bieber, bro, for like the majority of the year. But preferably, like I wanted something clean, something fresh, you know. So I just started like lining myself up or like clean up the edges, you know, stuff like that.
Yes, sir. I feel that.
What about you?
Yeah, I came to the U.S. when I was 2 years old. Was actually undocumented, bro, when I came to the U.S.
When'd you get your papers, bro?
I was 9, man. I was 9, so it was like 7 years of being undocumented. But I mean, you know, at that age, you don't really know what that means. You don't really fully understand, like, bro, how dangerous it is, like, you know, especially with all the raids that were going on at that time.
Me and Tony were just talking about like the meat I used to pull up, bro, in Othello.
Yeah, that was real, man.
All of a sudden, bro.
That was real. I remember my mom would tell me that like they pull up at her job, bro. She'd be working in the orchards, like picking apples, picking, you know, cherries and stuff, and they'd pull up, bro, like midday and like during lunch, bro, and they just take half the people, bro. Like people would have to hide like in the apple bins. People would be hiding in the trees. It's crazy, man. Some kids would come home and their parents would be gone. But yeah, man, that's a little bit about me, bro. That's recently I started making TikToks, bro, and it's been good. Like the content I've been making, it's been like the kind of a game changer for me.
Just not exactly why I cut hair, but it's a part of it. It kind of comes with it. It just, I get to cut a lot of kids, bro, that are, you know, 14, 15. They don't know what they want to do with their life. They don't know what they like to do yet. Some of them have issues at home, issues in the streets.
Yeah.
And some of them are all for it, bro. To them, that's life. And some of them are like, this isn't what I want. I want to get out, but I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start, you know? A lot of them are very, like, self-conflicting. And it's interesting to hear everybody's story of why they are the way they are, why they are in the position they are. Interesting, man, how you can really pave your way in life and how you want it to be.
You mentioned, you know, you see a lot of different perspectives here as a barber. You probably meet young kids, people that are probably a little older, and I mean, I feel like sometimes, you know, in the barbershop, you're able to express yourself and have those good conversations. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be deep, you know. Sometimes people probably come in and tell you about something good that's happening in their life, you know, like, oh, I just got a promotion at work or things like that.
You never know what you're gonna hear, man. You could hear, I'm about to have a baby, I just got a promotion, I just got fired.
That's crazy.
My daughter's having a kid. You never know what you're gonna hear.
And it's crazy because, like, there's not a lot of careers where you get to like know people on that level, you know?
Yeah. That's the thing too, like in one's perspective, you're just a dude that cuts hair. But from other people's perspective, it's like some people have been cutting, bro, for the last 5-6 years. You know everything about them. You know how they are, you know what they do on the weekends. Like, I did a lot of house calls back in the day, so I even know like where a lot of people live, bro, and it's just like, it's kind of like odd, you know, but it's cool at the same time.
And another spot that I really get inspiration from is just my life, man. Like looking back, I kind of shared a little bit about it, but I was raised by a single mom, bro, and we were low income growing up. You know, she was an agricultural worker, so she was making a lot of the time minimum wage, working long hours out in the hot sun, and you know, I spent a lot of my childhood at babysitters, and you know, I knew that she was out there working to provide for me and my younger brother, and just knowing that the amount of work and the amount of effort that my mom put in, and you know, she never gave up, bro. So for me, that's just very inspirational. So whenever I feel like I'm stressing out at work or I'm stressing out about school or things like that, I just kind of remember where I came from, and I remember the dedication that my mom had, and I try to kind of meet that same standard.
opportunities, bro. Like, I think for one, you have a lot more opportunities being in a big place. There's more people, and there's just more things going on. And the other thing is, I feel like it really opens your eyes as far as the way your life is gonna be and what do you want out of life. You know, I guess I feel like I was in a box. If you don't get out of that box, you feel like you can't grow as much.
Yeah, man, I agree. I mean, I love growing up in a small town. I thought it was cool. You know, everybody's really nice, and obviously, you know, some people are in your business more than you probably want, but you know, you gotta take the good with the bad. And I learned a lot growing up in a small town, but man, I feel like I was always made for a bigger city. I like the excitement and the rush and the thrill of things moving a little bit faster. And you know, that's why I moved to Seattle after I graduated from college. And one thing that I noticed right away when I got there, man, is people there, they don't care as much about like what other people think of them. Like, people are more willing to express their real selves in a city, whereas in a small town, you know, of less than 10,000 people, it's really easy to get caught up in like your image and what are the neighbors gonna think, or what are these families gonna think of me. What I really like about living in a big city is you're a little bit more anonymous. Even, you know, if you're whatever you're doing, like, there's a lot of people doing it too. You're not the only one, so it's a really easy place to really discover yourself and express yourself in the way that you want. I really like that. I also like, I think you kind of touched on it, but the different perspectives that you gain from the different people that you meet in a city. It's more diverse. It's not just, you know, one type of person or one type of mentality. It's you know, it's people that have big goals and big dreams and big ambitions. And I really like that. I feel like in order to do big things, you got to surround yourself by people who are also doing big things. And that's not to say that you won't find that in a small town. You'll just find it in more abundance in a big city.
I guess, how could you kind of like grow or see different perspectives if you lived the same life everybody around you did? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You guys grew up in the same town, you go to the same school, you go to the same things. It's like,
yeah,
where's the outside perspective, you know? When you get to really think outside of the box. If you start doing something new in a small city and nobody's doing it, you feel kind of weird. You feel like there's, you know, you don't know how that's gonna go. When you're big in a big city, like, I have a lot of friends that are barbers, and it's kind of like a competition, you know, where like you see everybody doing better and doing this and coming out with that, and you're like, I want to do that. I want to do better for myself. It's like motivational, but competition as well, you know?
Yeah, I like the way you phrase that. It's like that competition. It's like friendly competition, right? And
right.
I feel like a lot of the connections that I've made during my time in the city is people like that, bro. They're hungry and they're my friends, but they push me. And I feel like in a small town, a lot of the friends that you get, you kind of settle, you know. They become almost like, without trying, they become your yes men. And it's like, I feel like in a city, it's easier to find people that are still grinding, trying to grow, trying to accomplish these big goals, so they'll push you to do the same. Yeah, so you've been cutting hair for about 10 years. What's kind of like the ultimate goal? Where do you see this kind of ending up at for you?
I think the ultimate goal for me is eventually I want to get into, as far as barbering, I want to get into teaching, man. I want to not only just be that barber that watches YouTube and that's how I learn. I want to be the barber on YouTube where, you know, 14, 15-year-olds go. They're like, I want to learn how to do a fade. I want to learn how to do a comb over, or whatever that is, you know. I want to kind of give back in that sense. Is I want to show what I know, and a lot of the things that I saw, or you could still find on YouTube, you could see the majority of things, but there's a lot of hidden stuff that people don't talk about. They don't talk about the products they're using. They don't talk about the brands. They don't want to talk about that because it's their little secret, you know?
Yeah.
And so I don't want to keep that from people, those little keys that could really up your game and change things for you.
Yeah, man, that's important. And we were kind of talking about that a little bit, right? Like, giving back. It's, right. You know, we can't forget where we came from, and we got to remember to give back, bro, because it's so easy to just forget where we come from, you know? And I feel like when I was that kid in high school, elementary school, middle school, and not having like those role models or those people giving back, it was tough, man, because we had to kind of build our own lane.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would tell myself to trust myself more. I feel like a lot of my life, I lacked a little bit of confidence, to be honest, bro. And people probably wouldn't assume that because they see me, and people always describe me as a confident dude. But I feel like I lacked the confidence to trust myself a lot of the time. So, and I feel like that robbed me of a lot of opportunities. It also robbed me of happiness at times, really. So the biggest piece of advice I would give my young self is trust yourself, because you could literally do anything you set your mind to. And I feel like I'm at an age where I fully understand that now, and I fully have accepted that. But I feel like if I could definitely go back in time, I would tell, 15-year-old Max, just trust yourself more. Because it's good to get opinions from others, but nobody knows you and your potential more than yourself. So if you put trust in yourself, things will fall into place. What about you, Josh?
I think the biggest thing I would tell myself at 15, 16 years old is, for one, don't let everybody's doubts be your doubts. So I used to trust myself and know my abilities, but just hearing so many people tell me, like, don't do that, don't do this, that's not gonna work out, let's do this, that would make me create my own self-doubt that I didn't have in the first place, And so that, and the other thing is just to be more open, man, to be more, I guess, confident in what I was doing and be more open about it. So when I moved here, I'm the new kid, I don't know anybody. I ended up going to a bunch of schools. I came here 10th grade, and then I went to 4 schools after that. So I was moving around a bunch. And it's hard like that because you finally get kind of stable, and then you move, and then I didn't feel the confidence to go to people, be like, yo, I'm a barber, I cut hair. I know I'm only 16, but I already work in a shop. Even that, just saying that wouldn't even sit right with a lot of people. Or even times being at the shop, like a lot of people would walk in, I'd be available, and they don't want to get a cut by me. I look like a little kid.
Yeah, how did that make you feel, man? That must have been tough. You were young.
It didn't make me feel bad. I just hated at least for the financial part. Like, I'm trying to, help my mom. I'm trying to do a little better for myself, but I can't, and it's not because of my ability or anything like that. It's just the way that I look, and it's just how young I actually am. Yeah. And I've always looked younger than I am, so it's like at 16 I was looking 13, and then at 19 I was looking 16, so it's like it made it even that much harder, But those are the main things, just if I could tell myself, like, you need to be out there, you need to let people know what you do. And on top of that, just don't let everybody's doubts be your doubts.
I feel like if I could give a piece of advice to people is be confident in your vision. Don't wait until you're successful to be confident. Be confident in the vision that you have today of who you're gonna be tomorrow, and that'll help you get there ultimately.
Gotcha, bro. That's like, dude, that's game right there.
It's that confidence, man. It's a game changer.
What I noticed too, and this didn't, I want to say it bothers me, but it doesn't bother me in that way of like jealousy. It bothers me in that way of like, I could have done this. Was when I would see people that were, say, older than me or just starting out. And I'll give you a good example. I'm not even saying no name, but I worked with this one dude in the shop at one point. I had never seen someone cut hair worse than this dude ever. But he was so confident in his cuts, bro. Like, so confident to like.
Shout out to bro.
Homie was building the cash flow, bro, and I was like the tough part was I had to like sit down as a customer after the fact and help him out. But he's taking the bread, so I'm like, this dude's cutting 10 heads a day and I'm cutting 3. Damn, like I was like, fuck. But really the takeaway was like, but he thinks he's the best and he's showing that, so they think he's the best, and that's how he's getting it in. Fast forward to like now, he's pretty good at cutting now. Like it's up there, but he's on that way higher level because he's been doing that from the start, like from the get-go. He was just like, I'm the best, I'll be the best. And I mean bad to the point where like we didn't let him work at the shop no more because he's that bad, but like
I love that,
but
man.
He had that confidence, he had that in him that I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna tell them I'm the best, and however it comes out, it comes out. And I remember speaking to him sometimes, like after I felt like he felt bad after I had to fix haircuts, which I get it, because I'm kind of like younger than him. I'm like a few years. I was 17 at the time. He's like 24, and then they got to sit down and I got to help him out. And then like, but I'll just ask him like, why do you make it sound like you're the best? And he's like, that's how the money comes in. And like, to me that felt weird for him to say at the time, but now looking back, I'm like, this dude been right all along. Like, that's what everybody should be doing. It doesn't matter what field you're in or what you're doing, you know, you just gotta, the way that you come out, that's what you're gonna be. You know how they say the people you hang out with, that's who you're gonna be. The way you think, that's how you're gonna be.
Right.
And so that like didn't really hit me till a little later on in life, where I was like, all those years I spent going to different schools and this and that, I could have really been building a lot of stuff that I didn't, just because I was like, I just didn't want to do it, you know. I was like, I cut hair and that's that, but I don't want to go around screaming it at people and telling them the best and all that, you know. But now I'm like, damn, I should have done that. I would have been in a better place than I am now. Have you guys ever seen that video of JCutz? He's like 15, bro, and he's like throwing CDs in people's cars and stuff.
Yeah, that's.
So that we faked until he made it, huh?
That's what he was doing, and I was just like, that's motivational, bro. To see like he would go up to the car, he'd be like, $5, get you on the CD. I'm the best in the city. I'm the best this and that. but like same thing. Fast forward to now, and you're like, he was doing it all along, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a good story though. That's a perfect example of somebody who's like way more confident than their actual skill. But look at them now, you know?
Yeah.
Piece of advice someone ever gave me is, Max, I could teach you. I work in finance, so they were telling me, you know, Max, I could teach anybody how to work spreadsheets, how to do financial analysis. I cannot teach someone how to have a good attitude. So I'd rather have someone with no analytical skills and a good attitude than someone who has good analytical skills and a horrible attitude. Because you can't teach that, man. That's something that life kind of instills in you over time.
It's interesting you say that, man. My uncle owns a mechanic shop. He has trouble getting people that are, you know, good. And I asked him the other day, I was like, why do you think that is? Is it just they lack the skill, this and that? And he was telling me it doesn't matter their skill level. If they like it and they want to learn, they're going to be the best. And if it doesn't matter how much skill they have, if they don't care to be here or be responsible, I don't want them here. And that kind of hit me harder than like, it's easier to find skill, but not that want, that hunger, that need, you know?
To be honest, I feel like I could answer that for different fields, but I'll focus on like content creation. You know, I think it was when I had the podcast, man. People would talk to me and they would just tell me like, hey man, like I really like what you're doing with the podcast. And they would just tell me like, you know, speaking to you and seeing your passion and seeing like what you really like to do. I could see that it's something that you really like to do, and I could tell that it's genuine, that you really want to inspire. And kind of translating that now, fast forward, now that I'm making my own content on TikTok, you know, I could kind of see that like I'm getting the same messages, bro. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, but I feel like, you know, when God has a plan for you, there's little clues that tell you like you're on the right path. And for me, it's these people telling me that they see it, because it's one thing for me to see it, but when I hear it from other people, it's just more confirmation that I'm on the right path, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I feel it in my heart, man. I'm passionate about it.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah, what about you, Josh?
I think the moment in time for me was COVID hit. I was working in the shop and things were running okay, but like I wasn't the best. Things weren't the best. I wanted more, you know. But the main thing was I didn't want to move shops anymore, because every time you move, you go down a little bit as far as you lose clientele. And I was new in that shop. It had just opened. It was the homies of mine, and we're there for a couple months. And I'm like, I don't know about this. And then COVID hits, everything shuts down. And so I was like, this is gonna be a few days, just whatever. And then, a few days turns into a few months. So I think like day 3, COVID, I'm at the crib where I'm chilling, and I'm like, you know what, I need to go get my stuff. Like, I need to cut hair at least a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And so I like just was doing that for like 2 weeks, and was whatever, you know. Nobody could get a cut anywhere else, so it was all right. But then like, it was, I want to say that my first month just here, it wasn't a real setup or anything. It was just me doing it. And then I was like, you know what? This might even be better money than being at the shop. So my worry was like, people are gonna, for one, I just moved shops. I lost a bunch of clients. Now I'm moving cities. So like, I was cutting in Beaverton. That's 30 some minutes from here, bro. So now I'm 30 minutes away from the shop that I just moved to. So I was like, damn, like that's a lot. I don't think everybody's gonna drive out and get cuts by me because that's a lot. That's a long drive, bro. People that, the shop I moved to was 5 minutes away from another one. People weren't moving that. So I was like, now a whole different city. I was like, damn. And then my second month, I made more money than I had ever made in any shop ever. So I was like, holy shit, like people are actually down to get cuts, bro.
And you were brand new.
Yeah, and I'm brand new. So I was like, this is perfect. And then like, as COVID kept going through, the main thing was now people are driving out far, bro. People are driving out from Salem. People are driving out from Vancouver. There's people driving out from like the Dales, bro. That's like 2 hours.
Damn.
So like just deep, bro, deep as hell. And I wasn't even on anything, bro. Like no TikTok, no nothing. I had like an Instagram post posted like 2 years ago. Like people were just throwing my fucking number everywhere, bro. And I was like, holy shit. Like I didn't have no booking, I have no nothing. People were just hitting my line. Can I get a cut?
That's crazy. Real organic.
Yeah, and I was just like, damn,
clientele.
like, you know what? I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is like, I'm gonna build up my shop. And Tony seen my shop what it looked like back in the day, and it was like a whole different setup to now, where like my shop, quote unquote, at the time was my kitchen table right here, nothing over there but a couch and a small ass TV on the wall, and then I threw like a desk right there.
This same spot?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I threw a desk right there, and then I had a chair, and it was all good. Like that was it. I look back at it now, I'm like, how are people pulling up to this, bro? Like this looks dusty. Like I don't know, but I guess at the time I was like, this is it. I'm making bread. It's working out. Now I can look back and be like, I really did it. I upgraded it, and it's just a night and day difference of everything, you know, that's going on, and the way that I'm running things is a lot different as well. It's not like you gotta hit my line 20 times.
Right.
You hit my line once, I throw you the link. That's that.
Boom. Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's crazy. You thought you were gonna go down by moving shops, and it ended up being one of the most profitable months
Yeah.
of your career.
I'm supposed to hit this March 23rd or 24th. I'm gonna hit 3 years being by myself around here. So I'm excited for that, and it's gonna be dope, man.
It's a big milestone, bro.
Yeah.
And this is a great conversation, Josh. Honestly, like we mentioned, you know, we grew up in the same town, but we didn't really know each other. We're a couple years apart, but it was good chopping it up with you, man, and good getting a haircut from you too, man. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you, bro.
Clean.
The conversation was dope. I appreciate you, you know, putting your time into this, letting me know what's good, giving me all the free game. It's just interesting, man. I like to meet new people, and like the same way people tell you, the same thing I'm gonna tell you, man. It's dope to meet someone that's about to blow up.
Man, I could say the same for you, bro. I can tell you're passionate about what you're doing, and you know, you're saying you're about to hit the 3-year mark, bro. That's a special milestone, and you know, every year you learn something new, and I'm excited to see where you're gonna be at in 5-10 years, bro, because you got some big goals.